Hey everyone, I have two videos for you guys today, although one I might post tomorrow depending on how tired I am. But this first one is going to be talking about the Genre-athon. I've been meaning to film this and post it up for weeks. I have actually filmed several different versions of this video, but then I kept changing my mind about what I wanted to read. And then yesterday I knew what I wanted to read, but I ran out of time. So, I'm filming this the day the Genre-athon starts. I heard about this from Kristyn over at ViennaWaitsBooks. She and Kate from Howe and I have this, just continuous Voxer conversation going about, things we're reading and stuff. It's really fun, and I feel like I've made booktube friends, which is lovely. But yeah, so a couple weeks back she told Kate and I about this, and I know Kate's participating because her TBR video went up a while ago, and then she just put up a vlog this morning about it. So I know she's participating, and basically, oh, and if I didn't say, Kristyn is one of the primary hosts of the Genre-athon, and I will put her channel down below as well as Kate's. Unfortunately, I'm not subscribed to the other three hosts for the Genre-athon. So it'll just be Kristyn's channel. But what was I going to say? Oh, the point of this Genre-athon is it starts today and it ends on the 17th, and it's basically just try to read as many genres in a week as you can. And I think the minimum for participation was 3, I believe. And I have way more than that, so I'm very excited to get started on this. I hope they're all around me. I didn't actually check, but anyway. Okay, so the first thing is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I hope this counts because it's an audiobook, but it should count. Because I was reading this, but I had issues with it because it's a US version versus UK version, and I'll talk more about that in the other video that I'm going to do, because it's just talking about this book, because I love it so much. But anyway, this is going to count for, contemporary fiction, and I'm going to listen to this today, while I eat my lunch and clean my room, because my room desperately needs it. So, yes. And hopefully I will finish this today, because I only have 3.5 discs left, I think. Maybe just 3, actually. But yes, I've devoured this. I started this 3 days ago, and I couldn't put it down. So, I'm loving it. Next up is Larkrised Candleford by Flora Thompson. This is my second priority today, or actually really technically my first, but since cleaning my room is a first priority and I can't read a physical book while I'm cleaning my room, it's I don't know, I have to read this second. But anyway, I'm reading this with Kate over at Howe, and she has been incredibly sweet about me being so far behind and being slow about this, because this book is dragging for me. I love it. When I am reading it, I'm enjoying it, but it's so hard for me to pick it back up in between chapters. Just because it is very, the way Kate explained it is, it's fiction, but it reads like nonfiction, at least in the first book, because the first book is all, Hamlet life detail, and it's interesting, but it's just, it's a much slower read. But yes, today it is my goal to get at least the 2 chapters finished, that she has already read, that I haven't, and then maybe, hopefully, even go on to read 1 or 2 more chapters, and then do the same thing tomorrow as well. So, hopefully I will get that done. And this is, biographical fiction, autobiographical fiction, because it is fiction, but Flora Thompson based it on her own childhood. So, that's what this counts for. And then next is Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. I am reading this with Katie over at Books and Things, and she has also been very sweet about the fact that I'm a little bit behind on this, because I told her that I got sucked into Me Before You, and she was like, oh, that's totally, like, I understand, because she actually, I think she was the one who just finished this recently. I'll have to double check with her, but yeah, I told her, I was like, I'm so sorry I got sucked into another book, and then she messaged me back this morning, and she was like, was it Me Before You? And I was like, yes, and it's so good. So, obviously, I'm adoring this, but anyway, this counts for my classic, and I'm hoping to catch up on some of this today, but I'm also supposed to be watching The Masters later on with my family, so I may have to catch up on this tomorrow, maybe? We shall see, but yes. And then, oh golly, okay, here we go. And since it's my goal to finish a good chunk of Lark Rise in the next 2 days or so, after that, I really, if I haven't finished, I'll still, like, read a chapter a day or whatever, but after that, I really want to focus on finishing Weird Sisters by Terry Pratchett, because I was supposed to be reading this with Bree from Stories from the Shelf, and she finished it way before I did. I'm very good in my intentions about buddy reads, but then, like, life just gets in the way. So, yeah. But anyway, I need to finish this. So this is my primary goal for, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, after that, oh, and this counts for, like, comic fantasy, I think. Yeah, this is comic fantasy. Did I say this was by Terry Pratchett? It's by Terry Pratchett. And it's part of Discworld. And then after that, I really want to finish Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons, which is, I don't even know, this is like comedic modern classic, because it's definitely comedy, and it's the time period when it's written, most people would call it a modern classic, because it was written in I think it was published in 1939. So, yeah, that's what I'm calling this. And, you know, some of these genres I feel like I'm making up, but that's okay. That's totally fine. And then once I finish that, that'll probably be, like, Thursday and Friday, and then, I'm pretty sure I can finish A Room of One's Own in its entirety on Saturday, which I think this is an essay. I'm not totally sure, but I'm pretty sure this is an essay. So, yeah, that's what I'm counting it as, and if it's not, then I'll just exclude this from having a genre, because it'll be in the modern classic section with Cold Comfort Farm. So, but I'm pretty sure it's an essay. I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments if you've read this. I'm pretty sure. And then we have, oh, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. I am very behind in this for putting this on, in my narration project on my channel. But that's because it takes, like, some time to actually, like, sit down and record it and then make sure that that's a good enough recording and then post it. So I'm very far behind on this, but that's okay because I'm sort of going with this at my own schedule, or like on my own schedule. So if I finish this in May, that's totally fine. But yes, this is children's classic literature. So I'm reading a lot of classics, but I'm like subcategorizing them. So yes, I will be reading several chapters of this week, I hope. And then we have Batman Under the Hood. This is not the graphic novel that I will be reading this week, but it represents just the graphic novel genre, because it's the first one that I saw / grabbed. But the ones that I will actually be reading are Civil War, Civil War, House of M, and Captain America Winter Soldier, because I have a friend who lent them to me, who's coming in a week and a few days. So I will be reading those this week. So yes, and I might get to this one this week, but I kind of doubt it. Especially because I've been instructed by this same friend to read the Batman graphic novels in a certain order. So, yep. Okay, and then, wait, is this other one? Okay, I forgot one here, but it's here. Okay, things are falling, sorry. But anyway, this is Love Slavers Lost by Shakespeare, and I'm gonna try to read this also this week, because another buddy read that fell through. I was supposed to read this with Emma from the Bookish Princess, and she finished it way before me. I think it's because the week that we were supposed to read this, I got sick. So it was like that same week that I started reading How Green Was My Valley with Kate and Kristen. And yeah, so I need to actually read this so I can talk to her about it. Same with How Green Was My Valley, actually, but that won't be this week. So, yes, this needs to happen. And then, oh gosh, there was another one. Oh, okay. I know I've got a lot of stuff that I'm showing you guys, but I don't know, I read a lot of different things at once. Okay, so then I also, I recently saw One Night with the King, the film from 2006, and it's based on the Book of Esther, and I have never actually read the Book of Esther, which makes me feel like a really bad Christian. Like, this is going to sound really bad, but I've only ever read the Bible stories that we either discussed in my Bible study in college, which we never studied the Book of Esther, or I read the ones that I read with my family, like we read Luke every Christmas, stuff like that. So I am ashamed that I have never actually, like, ventured on my own to read the Book of Esther. And after that movie, I really want to, because the thing is, I liked it. Like, I liked it a lot at first, and then I thought about it, and I talked to a couple different friends about, like, who've actually read the Book of Esther, and I watched some YouTube reviews and stuff of this film, and it's weird. People who have seen the film and read the Book of Esther are actually equally split, between some of them really didn't like it because they thought that the marriage was portrayed incorrectly between Esther and Xerxes, because in the film it is portrayed as those two legit fall in love, and that's the part of the film that I loved the most. But a lot of people who have read the Book of Esther and seen the film are like, no, that's not really, like, according to the Bible, that's not how their marriage was. So, and also, according to history, Xerxes was a freaking jerk. Like, I looked it up and I didn't realize that, Xerxes the First is the same Xerxes who, beat the Spartans at the Battle of Thermopylae, and, in that, like, when I have read that battle in history, I have always been on the side of the Spartans. And yeah, so I didn't realize they were the same Xerxes. I thought it was like maybe Xerxes the First was married to Esther, and then Xerxes the Second was the Spartan one. But turns out Xerxes the Second was only emperor, king, or whatever for 45 days. So didn't really have time to go defeat Sparta. But yeah, so he's a jerk. So because of that, I'm totally torn on, like, my thoughts on that. But then other people, as I said, like, other people who I've seen who've read, who have seen their reviews, who have read the Book of Esther and seen this film, love the film, and they think it's great. So I'm really confused and I want to form my own opinions, so because of that, sorry, that was a really long intro to this. I am going to read the Book of Esther, and this is my archaeological study Bible. It's the New International Version, and what I'm going to do, this is going to sound weird, I have this, and then I have the regular New International Version, and so I'm going to read that version, like the original, in New International, and then I'm going to read the Archaeological Study Bible version, because this is, like, it incorporates archaeology with Christianity, which I love, because it's like, you're taking one of my #1 passions and combining it with my religion, and I'm just like, yes, that's awesome. So what this does is it takes, it takes the New International Bible and intersperses throughout all the different books and passages history of that time and like background info on what was going on. So for example, when I just mentioned that my family reads Luke at Christmas, in the Luke version, it has all of the, like, a page worth or 2 pages worth of history about Caesar Augustus and, like, what was going on in Rome at the time. And, yeah, so
just, so cool. I love it, and I'm so excited to read this. So this is just the Bible. Like, it gets its own genre. I don't even know what, yeah, so it gets its own, because it's like religious, historical, just, yeah, it gets its own genre. And in that same vein, Landmark Herodotus, the histories. This is basically Herodotus's histories, but it's like the annotated version. It has maps and footnotes and graphs and just all of these things, pictures. So I love this. I had to get this and Landmark Thucydides for my Greek and Roman history courses when I was a senior, because I had the same professor, and he really loved these editions, and thank goodness, because I love this and my Landmark Thucydides. I haven't read all of either of these, and as a matter of fact, sadly, I haven't really read them since school, but when I was reading them in school, I loved them, and these are 2 of my books that someone will have to pry out of my cold, dead hands in order for me to get rid of, unless, they get ripped or torn and I want to get new copies, but otherwise, I just completely love these. But anyway, so the point is that I'm going to be reading the Persian chapter, Herodotus's Persian chapter of the histories, and his take on it, because he talks about Xerxes, and he also talks about Xerxes' first wife, and who, I'm very confused about that as well, because it's like, Wikipedia says that he had 3 wives, but then there's a source that says his first wife and his second wife were actually the same person. I don't know, that was super confusing, so I don't really know. I think he had 3 wives. But anyway, so yeah, I want to read this and, like, get his perspective on it, get the father of history's perspective, after I read the Book of Esther. So, and this counts for history, obviously. So, I'm really sorry, that was a very long spiel, because I got going about One Night with the King. But, yeah, so that's everything that I will be reading. This is a 20-minute video, I'm sorry. But, just grab tea and stuff, and I will keep you guys updated. I'll probably do an update every morning. Like tomorrow morning, I'll tell you what I read today, and then Tuesday morning what I read Monday, and so on and so forth. So, yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later, and let me know if you guys are participating in the Genre-athon, and again, I will link Kristyn's channel, as well as Kate's. Kate isn't one of the hosts, she's just a participant, but Since, like, the three of us were having that conversation, I'll just link both their channels. And maybe also other genre-athon videos that I've seen. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.